Okay, welcome everybody to the Monday night chart chat. As you can see, we're doing, a little more. There's a little more of these live streams, chart discussions coming in now. It's been a little quiet the last few months, and the reason is there's a lot more action in the markets, a lot more volatility, and stuff really worth talking about. So we've seen the big breakouts that finally have been happening, the ones that we've been, waiting for, including, of course, peak Fintech PKK, a couple of others. So things are starting to move. It's taken a little bit longer. There you go. So, we are going to, see what is going to be that next 10-bagger. We've had already 7. I think I said 8 the other day, but it's really 7, right? So 7 10-baggers plus. You see that on the banner, I guess the thumbnail, whatever you call it for the YouTube. So we've had, Cytodyne 20x, CBDT up 50x, Nextech 13x, Imaginaire 14x, ESE, fans, etc. Fans, by the way, there's going to be another bite at the apple. I think that stock is going to be moving. I'm going to be pulling up that chart. It's been a little bit quiet. The Fans Unite is actually going to be on our live stream Thursday. I have not put it up on YouTube, but they will be on Thursday, 12:30, I believe, is the time slot. So there is going to be, I think some things happening. I know they're speaking at conferences. So the summer is, people are getting back to the markets, and there's going to be some exciting activity. And of course, this week we have, or since last week, we've had the peak PKK, new high today, new closing high. I'm going to be going into that in just a little bit. Now, what I would highly recommend, anybody that's just watching, tuning in, make sure, if you're not a subscriber, obviously you want to subscribe to the channel. But most importantly, click inside the video description below that we have a link to get to our Discord and also the Telegram channel. You definitely want to be a subscriber to the Telegram channel if you want to, I guess, maybe you don't want to, but if you kind of want to know what we're thinking about PKK this week, because this is a big week, and you want to be watching the Telegram, because it is going to be on the Telegram channel where we'll kind of be, basically, I'm going to be kind of giving you real-time information on Telegram, kind of my opinion on the chart. I don't want to always talk about things on YouTube. Some things are just you don't want to have in the public out there. Okay, so let's kind of start off with a big picture right now. Markets overall looking okay. Bitcoin, which I'm keeping an eye on, only to get an idea of sentiment, for speculative sentiment. It's a little bit weak right now. It's strange, because I was actually expecting this thing to have a pretty solid run right here, but it's been a little bit weak. Let me go to the closer short-term chart. You can kind of see this like a 1 hour chart. It's breaking the moving average. So you might see Bitcoin head down to 42 range. I don't know. It's something you want to kind of keep an eye on. It might go, maybe this was a dead cat bounce. It could be a dead cat bounce. Very possible. It's very possible. So again, the other day I was saying, hey, it's going to go to 100,000, but things can change. That's why you want to be a subscriber to the Telegram channel, which is free, by the way. You have to pay nothing for it. But the link is in the video description below. You should definitely be a subscriber to that. So Bitcoin is something you want to keep an eye on. Again, I think the markets overall are kind of strong. We see a lot of stocks taking off. So I think we're going to see one more run. Like there's going to be at least one more run before the wheels come off the bus. And there's a lot of kind of black swan things out there on the horizon, which could derail the markets over the next 6 months. So I would say now is a good time to, you want to keep an eye on these things. Take profits when you can, and also minimize your risks in these stocks. Yeah, so that's basically that is funny comment. Yes, so that's basically, we want to minimize risk. And what do I mean by minimizing risk? Again, the whole idea is, yeah, we're going after these stocks which have that 10x, 100x upside, but you want to do it in a smart way. You want to do it where your risks are minimal. And from a charting perspective, I like things which are at this double bottom. I really kind of feel like an idiot. I'm sure a lot of people think I'm an idiot because I've been talking about Logiq for a few weeks now, talking about this double bottom bounce, and it hasn't really moved from here too much. I mean, it's still very early. I mean, but you can see what's going on. It's above the moving average. It's looking for an excuse to run. I think today's, I think today with an earnings call today, I don't pay that much attention to that stuff, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think this thing is looking for a reason to run. Again, I'm mostly interested in the chart right now, and I think Logiq is going to be that next big winner, where you have essentially a de-risked situation. You got a company that's doing 40 million run rate. They're going to be doing M&A. I mean, they've done big acquisitions in the past, so they could easily do it. They're going to wait to do it once the stock is moving. They can't really do it here. So, but I think once the stock is back $10, $12, $14, you're going to see these guys doing deals. They have a great board of directors. I mean, Logiq is the thing is this, Logiq is actually probably the most kind of, what's the word, substantive company that we have on our roster right now, in terms of everything that they have, revenues, everything else. So I think you're going to see some exciting things. I think we're going to see $20 on the stock, minimum $14, $15 in the next couple of months. And again, the downside risk, I think, is very minimal. I mean, what's it going to do? It's going to go to 250. So you're risking 70 cents to make $14. That's a 20 to 1. I mean, it's crazy. It reminds me exactly of every one of the big winner stocks we've had: Cytodyne, Nextech, Peak Fintech, CBDT, 100%. I mean, I can go down the list. Fans Unite. All of them were like this when we introduced them. Nobody believed it. Nobody believed these things. And all of a sudden, people jump on the bandwagon when the stocks, are already making new highs. So, yeah, I mean, like, people jump on the bandwagon. I don't know about this guy. I don't know. Maybe this guy's maybe earlier, but people jump on the bandwagon. 2000. Okay, so I'll put it this way: you definitely want to make sure you're getting access to the Telegram channel. That's where we have the special, information for the Illuminati only, the Illuminati Club, right? So if you want to be part of the Illuminati, like Susan, you're going to want to join our Telegram channel. Yes, more into Peak. Okay, so positive sentiment on Peak. Again, let me pull up the chart on Peak. Actually, should I pull up? I'm going to pull up the chart later on Peak. I want to save that. I want to have a buildup. I want to keep the audience around. I want to talk about a former client, but I do want to mention it only because I have a little bit of an interest in this right now. They had some decent earnings, and the chart is looking pretty good. I think if they break through $5, we're going to see $10, $12 on the stock. I'm really kind of a little bit disappointed that they're not promoting it, which they should be. But hey, what do I know? But it's on NASDAQ now, so hopefully the institutions pick up on it. I know Sean Black very bullish on Skylight. So we're going to see what happens. I have a feeling once it breaks $5, it's going to be on its way to $10. But I'm not really going to be talking too much about it. So don't ask for info on it later. Okay, RHT is taking off. I was expecting a big move today in the stock. It hasn't happened yet. But you see what's happening. I mean, it looks like it wants to break out of this kind of wedge, upward wedge, whatever you want to call it, pennant. This is it right here. Again, it's above the moving 15-minute. Let me go to the 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, this stock wants to go. I would not be surprised if this thing is $1 by the end of this week. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a big move for a stock like this because it's been very quiet. AIML. I'm going to pull up AIML. Today was a bit of a disappointment in AIML. It should have broken higher. This is the 1 hour chart. You know what? I think it may pull back to the support line, 56 cents. I think you may have another chance to get in, to load into this. But I think we're going to see some big moves coming up. So yeah, look at this. It's had a difficulty breaking out of that 66. I mean, you could see that moving average for this stock has been it's been a challenge. So you might see a pullback in this kind of 55-cent range. That's what I think is going to happen right now. Fans. Also, a little bit of a disappointment today. But with fans, again, I've talked about this 1,000 times. It's such a weird. This thing just does these weird kind of charts. You kind of don't know almost, like, just when it doesn't, and then it happens a few days. You kind of have to. I don't know. It's hard to sometimes understand this thing on a short-term basis. You might see, I think we might see a bit of a pullback in fans, maybe to 70 cents, close this gap. It might happen. But ultimately, I think we're going to see another new high. I think we're going to see a new high in fans. I think we're going to see $354 in fans in 6 months. No, I'm not a momentum because look, I'm talking about Logiq. Logiq is not a momentum stock. I do pay attention to more. Listen, I mean, I really look at the fundamentals on these things, but sometimes I try not to pay too much attention, only because the charts do not lie. That's the one thing I can tell you. Charts don't lie. Fundamentals, when people get, especially these micro caps, there's a lot of guys who talk about fundamentals. Oh, we're doing due diligence, deep dive, and this, and I know there's there's a whole community out there who talks about, oh, we're doing very deep. I got news for you. These guys who think they're doing this deep due diligence on microcaps, you don't know anything. Basically, with these stocks, you really don't know. I mean, it's really you got a little bit of information, and basically you have to make a bet. It's really it's a speculative situation. Really, there's really no real fundamentals with these things. Unless the company has significant revenues in earnings and like a track record. And I mean, these are not Warren Buffett plays. I hate to tell you this. None of these stocks that we have are Warren Buffett. Even like I'm talking about Logiq or whatever, 40 million revenues. You're not buying the fundamentals. You're not buying you're buying what the future is going to be. You're making a bet on it's a lot more stuff going on. Obviously the fundamentals are important, but a lot of times the fundamentals are, that's an opportunity, I think, a lot of times for management to throw in a lot of smoke and mirrors and and investors to get it. There's a lot of trickery that you can see with fundamentals. So I don't really, you know, it's interesting. I tell you what, they do act sometimes just weird. One of the most absolutely perfect things, like chart wise, Bitcoin. And I was thinking about that, and I figured out why that is. I think that is because stocks or any kind of instrument which is ultra liquid, mass audience, that's reflected in the chart. Whereas something which is not as liquid, it's a little bit sloppy because it's subject to day-to-day manipulation. These stocks get beaten up, short sellers, etc. So it's one of those things. But yeah, but I think fans, I think, is going to do very well. You got to have a little bit of patience with this chart right now. It's probably going to drop a little bit, and then after it shakes everybody out, it's going to make a run to like $3.50, $4. So I think it has a nice upside again. So if you're just watching our channel for the first time, make sure you click the definitely want to join the Telegram channel. It's free. Discord, the links are in the video description below. And of course, subscribe to the channel. That is also free. But you're definitely going to want to be on our Telegram channel, where we're going to be talking about a lot of fast-moving stuff this week. Okay, so RHT, I want to go back to RHT. I think RHT is a really good-looking chart right now. I think we're going to break past the dollar. And this has a runway. It's got a runway to 250 easy. And this thing has, listen, if you believe the fundamentals, it has phenomenal fundamentals. The fundamentals of this thing are better than shit. It's actually better than probably anything we have. These guys have built in 200 million revenues run rate at some point once they get, all these patients onboarded onto their thing in the next 18 months. Big numbers. So as the company makes progress, then the market's going to, obviously the market doesn't believe it yet. Otherwise the stock would be $4, $5. So, but as these guys start showing, the goods, the stock is going to get bid up. So, just like TBP. So look, this thing is really, this should be like a $253 stock right now. The market doesn't really, I guess the bottom line is the market doesn't believe that these guys have what they have, or that this is that this drug is going to be approved. The pipeline of drugs is going to be approved, and which is always the case. The markets with biotech stocks, either they believe completely, and these things get bid up crazy, then there's disappointments, and these things crash to zero, or nobody believes, and then when they do surprise to the upside, then they explode. So that's the crazy thing in the drug discovery world, or I guess maybe even the mining, the resource world. Either people completely believe they're into the hype, or nobody believes, and you have the opportunity at both ends of that extreme. So I think TBP is a good case in point. Now, chart-wise, forget about the fundamentals. We're broken below support here. This is the key support, 30. Excuse me, not the key support. This is the moving average here. We might see a bit of a pullback to maybe this kind of 30-cent range. Excuse me, the third 28. It's going to kind of hang out here. Let me look at this 1 hour chart. Actually, let me back up. Let me see what happens tomorrow, because it could bounce off this moving average tomorrow. In theory, I think we have a very strong kind of this. You have this head and shoulders, reverse head and shoulders pattern. You're still above the moving average on the 1 hour. So let's see what happens tomorrow. It could maintain, and then it could, if it breaks above 35, we're going to be moving higher. I think we're going to see new highs in TBP within 30, 60 days. Yeah, I mean, yeah, nothing I know. This is not the company. They don't tell me anything. But listen, I'm just looking at Score. I'm looking at what's happening. So why did yes, a couple of these things are these companies got bought for the technology and everything else. Fans, I mean, I think they're a candidate. I mean, the valuation is not expensive, especially if you have a company like, I don't know, like a DraftKings or somebody else who's got a massive. Um, so yeah, I think that could be one of the catalysts. There's a lot of catalysts for fans. So that's why you got to kind of be patient with the chart because it's not 100% readable. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Okay, so we covered RHT, TBP, Logiq, Logiq is again, maybe I shouldn't even talk about it. I've been talking about it too much, and maybe I should stop talking about it. But yeah, I think look, you're gonna see. I think this thing is gonna be one of the big winners of the year. Hey, nobody believed me when I said this about other stocks. There's always doubters. Everybody's a doubter. Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I've brought you, what is it, 10 baggers plus 10x to 50x, and how many stocks are up? I don't even talk about the stocks that are up 300% or Skylight is not even in that pantheon. Or what's the Red Light Holland was up, I don't know, 5x, whatever. What other stocks do we have? I mean, we had a whole bunch of stocks which I don't even put on the list because, who cares about something that's up 5x or 4x? That's nothing. A double. I mean, we've had so many stocks that double. It's not even, keep it on Logiq. Okay, now let's go to the main event. Let's go to the main event, which is Peak Fintech. One-day chart. Okay, here it is. What have I been telling you? I mean, I don't like to say, hey, I told you so. I'm not here to beat my own drum and brag or whatever. But sometimes you have to kind of remind people. Otherwise, somebody else takes the credit. I mean, I know a lot of people are taking credit for all these different stocks. And like Cloud MD is another one that I don't even talk about. But that was up. It went from 50 cents, 70 cents to whatever it was. It was like a 5x. That's nothing. What have I been telling you at Peak? Once it breaks out of that $3 range, or now it's a $6 range, it's gonna explode. Okay, and nobody believed it, and here it is. It's it broke out. So I think, why am I telling you this? I guess because I think I kind of know what I'm talking about. Maybe that's kind of the point. So you definitely want to click the Telegram subscription button. It's free. Join the Telegram channel because I will be giving real-time updates on what's going on with Peak and a couple of other fast movers this week. I'm probably not going to be doing another chart chat for like a week or so. So you want to be on the Telegram. Okay, so what is going on? Again, I would reiterate what I said earlier is that I think we're in a position where we could see a couple of situations, couple of scenarios. We could see this thing go to $14, maybe 13, 12 and a half, 13, $14, $18, or it could make a move all the way to 20 or even low 20s within the next week. I'm talking about a week, 10 days. I wouldn't say 10 days. I would say within the next couple of days right now. So this thing is in full parabolic mode. And we've had this happen before multiple times. You guys have seen this movie in the past. You have seen this movie before. This is the sequel. This is CBDT fans. This is part 8, whatever, part 7, I guess. And I guess the idea is, where is this thing going to peak? No pun intended. When I say peak, I'm not saying, oh my God, after it hits that number, it's going to go to. No, I mean, I just saying, hey, this is the big thing. And then after that, yeah, they're going to have to deliver fundamentals, and the stock probably is going to pull back, which is normal, right? What have you. And there could be, or there could not be, another bite at the apple, so to speak. For example, like Fans Unite, that chart, Fans, I believe, has another bite at the apple. So that stock is going to make new highs. So it was a 10x, it pulled back, down 70% from the high. I think it's going to go back to new highs. Some stocks do, some stocks don't, all right? So I think we're going to see something happen in the $14, $18, $20 range. We're looking at a new high right now. The short-term chart is looking pretty good. It is, I think it was a little bit, I think the stock got a little bit nervous today in the last few hours. It could definitely sense it was a little bit hesitant in that $11 number. It was some hesitancy. Every time it hit 11, it pulled back. Pretty interesting. There you go. This is it. So you see, it spent a lot of time trying to break out and didn't quite make it. And I think you might have had a big dump here, maybe some short selling. And look what happened. It broke below this moving average, and then it jumped right back up. I mean, it was a fake out, which is why I think you want to be a subscriber to our Telegram channel. Again, it's free. Click the link in the video description below. So peak. I think tomorrow is going to be another up day. Tomorrow could be another up day. So the question is, what I am looking at here is kind of what I am monitoring. I'm kind of monitoring the momentum right now in the stock. Like, how much velocity is in these moves? Yeah, that'll be very interesting to watch. I want to see the velocity, basically. I don't want to see a slowdown in the momentum on this stock. So definitely subscribe to Telegram. We're going to keep an eye on this, because this is, I think right now, in the next couple of days, is when all the money in the stock is going to be made. So, imagine this. Imagine some guy bought the stock, he's a genius, right? The guy buys it at 70 cents, last year when we introduce it. He holds it a year through all the tough times. And he gets out over here, so he's up, 10x, 12x. Wow, phenomenal. Meanwhile, so he basically makes, what is it, $9, $10. Meanwhile, somebody else could be buying peak Fintech tomorrow, and if the stock goes to 20, he's going to make that same, $10, 21, what have you. So, and, it's pretty interesting. Timing is everything. So sometimes, now again, the question is it more risky here than at 70 cents? I don't know, because here you got the momentum thing happening. I'm not making any recommendations to buy or sell anything. Let me run that banner again, just so we don't want to make things 100% clear. But yeah, so this will be very interesting. Okay, let me pull up what's going on with FCO. I know we got a lot of fans of FCO. Yeah. So again, this chart. Okay, the chart got screwed up here. They got bad data in the chart. Yeah, so it's kind of hanging out here basically at 15 cents. I think the trend is overall bullish. it's neutral. It's really neutral right now. I guess the market is waiting for the mining drill results, waiting for data. It's very annoying having to wait. Okay, so to recap, let me look at relay. Okay, it's picking up a little bit. Happy. Not a lot going on yet. Okay, so stocks for this week. These stocks I think are going to move this week. Okay, if I were to say which ones I think are going to move the most, Logiq I think is going to be a little bit slow because people are slow to pick up on this. What can I tell you? RHT I think is ready for a big move this week. Obviously, we're seeing big moves in peak, so TBP and Logiq could also make a move. Let me pull up the peak chart. So I think tomorrow is a very critical date. Tomorrow, next few days. Again, the big move in peak fintech is going to be happening this week. So do not go on vacation. Make sure you get access to Telegram on your phone. And you monitor, because we're going to be, giving some real-time information there, and that's the deal. All right, so this week, it's kind of quiet in terms of company-wise. I think we're only doing like a few live streams this week. Everybody's on vacation. We got Fans. That's Wednesday. Fans is on the board for Wednesday, 12:30. I think we might have another unicorn live streams. I just got to get everybody lined up. That should be pretty interesting. And we're going to be introducing probably a new next super stock in the next 4 to 6 weeks, probably early September. There's going to be some, some interesting things happening. And I have a very good feeling that our next, 10 baggers, we're going to have a couple more 10 baggers. I think we're going to have, because we have already 7 10x plus. I think we're going to have 10. I think we're going to have 3 more stocks join the 10x pantheon by the end of the year. So 3 more from here, 10 baggers, and I think we're going to have a few. We're going to introduce a couple new ones. So the idea is you want to, stay liquid and, take advantage of these opportunities. Parlay your money, to take profits when you can. There's going to be some huge opportunities. September is going to be a massive month, I think, September, October. And that is it. So thank you, everybody, for joining. I will see you on Wednesday. Fans Unite, 12:30 live.